Hi.
Hi, everybody. What's up? Hi. How's it going? Some people are still filtering in, so we'll kind of let them show up. You can pop yourselves on mute, grab some water, grab some tea. If you're making dinner while you're listening to this, which it looks like Alex might be, I'm all for that as well. So I just want to say hi. I'm Bailey, and this is my husband and trusty business partner, Steve, and we're so excited that you decided to spend your Monday evening with us. We have been wanting to teach a masterclass where we were not cooking for such a long time now, and we're so excited that we finally got the opportunity to be able to do this post-book launch. So we just wanted to quickly ask you to kind of pop in the chat, and we want to know where all you guys are from.
I see Sydney, Australia tomorrow.
Yes, lunchtime in Sydney. Okay, so it's not even Monday for you anymore. You're already like past all that. That's awesome.
And I also see my mom in there.
Yes,
that's Oregon.
Hi, Kim. Austin, Texas, British Columbia, Ohio. Oh my gosh, from everywhere. LA, New York.
New York.
What's up, you guys? Yes, I love this. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah.
This masterclass is called Thriving on Plants. Boulder, Colorado, that's where I'm from.
Ventura.
Yes. This masterclass is called Thriving on Plants, and we called it this because that's exactly what this challenge is about. That's exactly what this lifestyle is about. It's just simply giving our bodies the opportunity to thrive and also giving the world around us an opportunity to thrive as well. And there's so much to learn. It's such a big lifestyle change. And even if you're not fully committed into going into that lifestyle change, here in this masterclass, you're gonna get the tools so that you can do that. So I really wanna know if you could pop in the chat and let me know your why. Like, why are you here? It could be something as simple as, I'm just curious. Like, I saw you on TikTok and I want to know what the deal is.
Yeah.
Or it could be like,
which is sometimes the best thing, curiosity.
Yeah, curiosity is great. Or it could be like, I've tried this lifestyle for a really long time and it's just, I can't get it to work. So it's really up to you guys. Like, why are you here? I'd love for you to pop in the chat and let us know.
And we're here to teach you guys.
Yeah, I mean, to
help you and to guide you. I feel like us going plant-based, I feel like her being a chef helped out so much in our journey. But if you don't have anyone that's like a chef or a cook or anything, you're just trying to
nutritionist or anything,
and you're just trying to start eating healthy, but you don't know where to start.
Exactly.
It can be daunting, but that's why we're doing this masterclass.
And not that long ago, we were exactly where you guys were, just super curious about the lifestyle. And there were so many things that I wish that I knew going into it that we're here to help you guys. So we need a change. My family's been vegan for about 2 years, but now I want us to eliminate the junk. I love that.
Vegan mac.
My vegan mac and cheese TikTok. Yes, you guys. That thing went viral. It was so unexpected. It's so funny.
Turned vegan plant-based this year for health reasons and looking for more support and
more
information.
That's literally exactly what this is. Support and information. I love that. You tried plant-based for a few months earlier this year. You felt amazing, but you need more tools to make this a lifestyle. Yes, exactly. I love that. It really helps your autoimmune issues. I love that so much. So this is going to be a mix of us teaching and also you guys journaling, because I think a lot of what holds us back is ourselves. And I think like our own just kind of our mindset and a lot of just these preconceived things that we have going on in our lives based on this society that we live in, which is very much the opposite of being plant-based. And that's just a reality of it. We live in a very non-plant-based society. And although things are getting easier, even when we first went plant-based years ago, it's still challenging, especially depending on where you live. You guys were from everywhere, it seems. So it's important to kind of just like get that community and get that support. So, I want you guys to journal really quick because I think sometimes journaling can really help, when you're looking back on this later on. So I'd love for you to go a little bit, take like 30 to 45 seconds to go a little bit deeper on your why and what you're hoping to get out of this masterclass, out of this lifestyle. If you're in the 14-day plant-based challenge, what you're hoping to get out of the challenge, like what is that why? And a really good example of that is a really big health goal. So for me, a little bit of my background is I have endometriosis. And so I have chronic health issues, which also like relates to chronic stress sometimes, which it's just hard for me to function, in the world. And I'm also I'm a classically French trained chef. And so having those two things next to each other, I was feeling my disease and really had no idea. And so for me, my why is to just like feel like a normal human being, actually feel better than the normal human being feels. And what about you?
My why is also just to feel like, I feel like a lot of people, you think you're at your top optimal like person of your optimal like level of where you can be, but then going plant-based and feeling just more energy, better sleep, just everything, it took me to the next level. It's like, wow, like this is actually like how I can feel.
Right.
Because my whole life, I guess, I just always thought I was really healthy, but I was super active, but I ate like junk food. So it's the kind of why that always kind of brings me back is just how I feel, like literally almost every day, just like waking up and starting my day with a juice and a smoothie and feeling just energized and not just like tired and groggy and just trying to like survive the day.
I think like a quote that I talk to about clients all the time is like, people don't really know how good you can really feel. And that was for me. Like a lot of the time I was operating at, the 40% and I didn't even know it. Like I knew I had health issues. I knew I was in pain. I knew all that. But when I felt good, I didn't really realize that I didn't feel that great. So that's kind of the why, right? And the reason why we say that first is because your why is what's going to keep you in the game. Yes. So even if you're only in the game for the 14-day plant-based challenge, even if you're only in the game for this masterclass, your why is going to keep you here and it's going to keep you going, especially if you're dealing with an autoimmune disease, especially if you live with family members that like do not get it. This why is really going to hold you there. So I really challenge you to kind of look at your why and solidify it and get really, really, really specific, because it's really going to help you stay strong no matter what your goals are, whether you're planning on having a family soon, or, you want to get your body ready to have kids, or you're going into menopause, or, you're an athlete. Like we all come from so many different walks of life and we all have so many different reasons onto why we get here. And that's what keeps us here. So that's really, really important. And then since this is called Thriving on Plants, I would love for you guys to write down and also put in the chat, what does it mean for you to fully thrive? I think in this society, we live in a survival state of mind all the time. We're surviving, we're going from one thing to the next, we're grinding, and in order to thrive, like what does that mean to get out of survival mode and to feel like you're thriving in life, to feel your passion. I love that. That's so me. To feel your passion for sure. What does it mean for you to thrive? To have the energy to keep up with my kids. Yes. For me, it means to have the energy to just be able to do, what I want in my life, to feel good in my body, to have energy to be successful and to be a good wife, to maybe have kids one day, even with endometriosis. For me, that's like my thriving, and to just like to feel awesome, like I talked about before. Yeah. So I'm going to talk about the 8 pillars of thriving on a plant-based diet. These are the 8 things that I think that if you can nail down, you can nail this diet down, you can feel really confident. You can, no matter if you have a pitfall, if you take 10 steps backwards, you know that you can always kind of get back up and keep going if you remember all these things. So I would write these down. We're going to elaborate on them. And then of course, at the end of this, write down any questions that you have, because we're going to do a Q&A too. So any questions, whether they're super personal or cooking or anything, just write them down. We're going to be an open book and we'll answer whatever you guys want. So the first thing, and I sent this in the email today, is to just get hyped and have a really positive attitude, because, I think it's so easy with social media, and specifically comment threads are just out of control with negativity. There's so much negativity in the world in general that you have to be your own hype man. And specifically if you are in the plant-based challenge, or if you're just trying a new lifestyle, you have to come at it with a positive mindset. Your mindset is literally controls everything. Your thoughts control your reality. So right now, go into this with a beginner's mindset. This masterclass is everything. Go says, sorry I'm late, black bean and onion soup. It's all good. I love that everyone's eating and full. It's kind of the whole point.
And see, even things like that, you get hyped on just like black bean soup or something, you know? Like, I feel like that, like, for us, we were saying this in the beginning, that it's almost like becoming like baby-like, where you're seeing things for fresh eyes, like you've never seen them, and instead of having this like preconceived, like, well, I don't know if I actually like black beans or something. It's like, well, you don't know until you make like this black bean soup and you really, really like it and you get like super hyped on it.
Exactly. People are getting hyped about black bean soup in the comments right now. So like that's the whole point. Or, you know, like trying new things, like a beginner's mindset. We've all had Brussels sprouts we don't like, or we've all had mushrooms we don't like. But I think it's important to come at everything that you see if you're cooking recipes out of our cookbook, whatever you're doing over the next like few weeks, to really look at it from a beginner's mindset, because it's really going to help you kind of like ditch all of these negative like automatic thought patterns you've had in the past about things, and it's going to let you kind of come to this with a fresh mindset. The other thing too is your positivity and the effect that it has on the people around you. So one of the biggest questions I got when creating this masterclass is like, well, what do you do when your family doesn't agree with your lifestyle, or your friends are bullying you because you're not eating meat anymore, or you're feeling pressured into eating like the cheese board, or into going to a restaurant that has nothing for you to eat? And I think the biggest thing is just be positive. I mean, I, from personal experience, have gotten into fights with friends with one too many glasses of wine, who are arguing with me, trying to pressure me to eat something I didn't want to eat. Or if I was, you know, like for me, quitting dairy was one of the hardest things I've ever done. And when I was really trying to quit dairy and I would have people try to like kind of push it on me, it's really easy to get aggravated and be like, ugh, you know, why don't they see things the way that I do? But I think the biggest thing that you can do is to just take a deep breath and be positive, and let that positivity kind of radiate in your reactions towards people, and just realize that like they might not be on the same path that you are right in this moment. That's okay. And when you lead with positivity, you also lead by example. You're also being like, hey, like, I'm happy about this choice. I'm in this for me. This is good for me. This is a good thing. You know, everyone has something to say about plant-based. Everyone has something to say about veganism. Everyone has something to say about protein, which we'll get to, don't worry. And it's just important that your positive attitude comes before everything else, because especially when you're on the internet, it's really easy to read incorrect nutrition articles. It's really easy to read like industry-driven science facts. It's really easy to read things that can make you feel negative about your own choices, but we just want you to know you're doing the right thing, and you're taking one step further into becoming just like a more plant-focused person, and that in itself is like really positive.
Yeah.
So,
and just more conscious of what you're putting in your body. You know, I feel like a lot of us, we have work, school, family time, this and that, but when it comes to food, it just kind of happens without us realizing it. So it's just becoming more of a conscious person that I think is like sometimes the biggest change
can
for
be
a lot of
positive.
people.
Yeah,
and it's
exactly.
super positive.
So, okay, I have another journal question for you guys right now. So it's around the idea of automatic negative thoughts. As human beings, we have automatic negative thoughts. And so automatic negative thoughts control our reality sometimes, whether we have a preconceived notion about what somebody is thinking or how somebody's going to react, or automatic negative thoughts about ourselves. Like I have automatic negative body issues. Like I have automatic negative thoughts from having endometriosis. And so that's something I'm trying to just rewire in my brain all the time. And I think we all go there. And so for this journal entry, we'll take like a minute to answer it. How have automatic negative thoughts stopped you from achieving your health goals in the past? Let me read these comments.
I pre-ordered your cookbook.
It's not released here in Australia until early November. Oh my god, that's such a long wait. I love that, more plant-focused. As you're not plant-based, allows permission for making it work one lifestyle. Just saying no thank you sometimes should just be enough. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just saying no thank you should sometimes be enough, but you know, sometimes it's not. You failed over and over and will again. Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing too, is you guys, we are human beings. We live in a very fast-paced, very stressful world. And depending on your workload, how many kids you have, what's going on in your life, like, you're not perfect. You're not supposed to be perfect. You know, for me, personally, I just got blood test results back, and they are like nowhere anywhere close to where I thought they would be. I have crazy hormone imbalances, and it just goes to show like how my stress in my life and certain things that I haven't been paying attention to is, you know, negatively affecting my body and my blood results. And it just goes to show that no one's perfect, and we're always on this path to continue to just improve. And that's why, I mean, my automatic negative thought when I got a blood test back, I was like, oh my God, who am I to teach anyone anything about food or nutrition when like my blood test results aren't where I want them to be? But the reality is like, we just launched a book. We've been working 7 days a week for 2 years, and like life just happens. And so you have to get out of that negative thought and just be like, actually, like, I'm good. Like, I got this. Your kids will not eat what I cook. I can't satisfy everyone. Negative thought. My husband doesn't want to do plant-based, so I can't make it work. I know this isn't true, but it's a thought that holds me back. Thank you for being honest about that.
Yeah.
As it pertains to my approach to food, I'm happy itching my way towards goals and don't allow myself to get too consumed by the so-called failure. Exactly. Yeah. And it's a process, you guys. And something I want you to, if you have to write this down or whatever, just realize that like you are swimming upstream of societal norms. Even just being here
and
is
traditions.
Swimming upstream of every culture, every tradition, every societal norm of not consuming animal products, dairy products, processed food, especially in the US. You know, there's so much processed stuff that it's like you're swimming upstream. Yep. So you just have to realize that like you're doing something that is hard because the society that we live in makes it that way. Yep. And it's okay sometimes if you feel like, God, this is hard. This is overwhelming. It is. I mean, I was completely overwhelmed the first year we went vegan. I also turned my business vegan, which was like so overwhelming. I was like, is this the worst idea ever? You feel like you're questioned about your choices. Yeah, you are, because you're going against everything. So think about, and next time you have an automatic negative thought about yourself or your health or your food, even if you cook something that doesn't turn out, that's okay. You can try again or just try something different. If you have that automatic negative thought, maybe you could write it down on a sticky note, let it have a life, right? Because it's like if we hide from these thoughts, they're gonna keep coming up. They're just gonna keep being there if we don't get them out. So what you could do is write them on a sticky note, pop them in a jar, and just like let them live somewhere. They can just like have
in a jar, not in your
like
head.
Literally their own little negative thought corner. That's just like when you've got. I'm actually gonna start doing that. You have your own little negative thought corner that like when they start to consume you. So like for instance, like
put the jar in the freezer.
Put the jar in the freezer. Yes, exactly. Or we can burn it once a month. Or it's funny too because when you think about your automatic negative thoughts, like for instance, like. When I'm on my period, I hate my body. It's just like, you know, I feel like most women feel that. But if I were to read that 2 weeks later, I would literally laugh at myself and be like, girl, you're tripping. Like, you're fine, you know? So it's really important to just like put those thoughts somewhere, get them out into the world, and then you can deal with them. So maybe you can do that right now. This negative thought that you just had, write it somewhere, put it in a jar, and like pop it in the freezer. I love that. Okay, you guys, number 2, get organized. And set your flow. Yes, I think we spend so much time scheduling our kids, scheduling our meetings, scheduling our phone calls, scheduling our workouts, scheduling our hair appointments, and we don't freaking schedule our food. Like, it just doesn't happen. I don't see anyone that schedules their food. I know when I don't schedule my food, I don't eat. Even though I'm cooking for everyone else, I know that I do not eat if I'm not scheduling my food. So that is an incredibly important lesson to just like take the time, 30 minutes on Sunday, to just sit down, look at your schedule, look at your husband's schedule, your kid's schedule, your dog's schedule, like whatever you got going on, and look at your schedule. And then think about how hungry you're gonna be realistically. Think about what time you eat in the morning. Think about how much you're gonna be working out, how many calories you're gonna be burning. Think about how much you're gonna need to set up for yourself, whether you need to like hit the salad bar at Sprouts or something, or you need to meal prep or whatever it is. You have to start scheduling your food. Otherwise, 2 things are gonna happen. You're gonna have an empty fridge, and then you're gonna go out to lunch or whatever. You're gonna spend more money on food than you intend to, and you're gonna be hungry and hangry. Or you're gonna go shopping and you're gonna buy a bunch of healthy stuff, and then you're not gonna know what to do with it because you haven't planned any recipes or meals or anything, and then you're still hungry and you have rotting food in your fridge, so you're like still spending more money than you should be. So it's kind of this like these two polar opposites where if you're not getting organized and you're not planning your meals, you're hungry. And this happens to me all the time. This happens to my clients. This happens to literally every single person I talk to. It's like a human modern day problem. And I just challenge you guys to really start to plan and organize your meals. And it's just also the concept of like putting your own oxygen mask on first. You know, it's really easy for us to pre-plan everything, but for everyone else, for all of our meetings, getting all these things done, but if you don't put your own oxygen mask on first, if you don't take care of yourself before you take care of everyone else, even if it just means planning your meals or meal prepping for 30 minutes or making sure you have stuff for a smoothie in the morning, at the very least, like you won't be able to take care of everyone else. And I know a lot of us are running on empty. We are living in a weird mid-pandemic, everything's
it went from 0 to 100
open again world where the burnout is happening to almost every single person that I talk to. So it's really important to put your own oxygen mask on first. Let me see what you guys wrote. Already feel supported. And you will keep going, yes! Hi, Co, what's up? My wife and I are planning meals around what might be a fun meal to cook, how much time we have to complete it. Yes, that is so important.
So important.
Or if just one of us needs to make a quick power meal, exactly. So like something that I really like to do is prep grains. Like I'll prep quinoa or farro or rice or something, or beans, like legumes. And then I'll make sure I have like avocados and like fresh veggies to throw in there.
Or even just like hummus, and you can make like a hummus wrap.
Yeah.
You know?
Simple stuff. Like we don't have to reinvent the wheel. Actually, when I'm just eating for myself, I eat really simple. I eat like brown rice pasta and avocados and fruit bowls, and I just want to get the calories and as many fruits and veggies as I can. So for this journal entry, write down 3 actionable steps that you can make in your food space to be more organized. So this could be something as simple as like throw out all the old spices I haven't used since 2010. Or it could be like, Co, I feel like Co really called on. Or it could be like, resituate my smoothie stuff so it's in the cabinet right above my blender so that I remember to make it. Or it could be like refit the schedule on Sunday so I have 30 minutes. So like what are 3 actionable steps that you can do this week to get more organized in your food space, which could be up here, or it could be in your kitchen. So for example, this week, I threw out all of our old spices, and it was like exhilarating. And honestly, I was a little disturbed by us. I was like, we have thousands of these little bottles. And I also bought like I'm on TikTok, honestly, so I'm like getting inspired from all these TikTok things, these organization TikToks. But those little plastic clear bins, I've been like just organizing, and it honestly feels so good to just organize a little bit, throw stuff out, clean your counter, like your cabinets on the bottom. Just these little steps can really make a difference. Or
even just like waking up 30 minutes earlier and just having time to maybe like make a smoothie or do a 15-minute Pilates or something.
Yeah, exactly. Because then you're hungry. Like my problem is if I don't work out in the morning, I'm not hungry until noon. So part of what I need in the morning to be hungry to get those calories in is to work out so that I feel motivated to make a smoothie, right? Or to make sure that we get the stuff for the smoothie on the weekends. That's also part of it as well. Okay, number 3, you guys. This one is a big one, especially with plant-based, especially with ourselves, putting our own oxygen mask on first. Number 3 is leading your life with compassion first. So having compassion for yourself, most importantly, because if we don't have compassion for ourselves, it's impossible to have compassion for other people. It's impossible to have compassion for the world around us, for our family, for any of these things that we're constantly, just moving through. It's impossible to have compassion. So having compassion for yourself. Having compassion for yourself could mean so many different things. It could mean, like we said before, taking that extra 30 minutes, or if you accidentally mess up on the plant-based or you don't work out for a day, just be like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine. I'm good. Like,
I'm like, no guilt, no like
I'm just gonna
putting
move on
yourself
tomorrow.
down. And just like being like, hey, like, you know what? Last night when I was with friends, I had a piece of this cheese board. That's okay.
Yeah,
like,
and then the next day you just
don't
try
kick
again.
yourself. Like,
exactly. So
it's
compassion
about-
for yourself. And what I really realized too on my journey, yes, giving yourself grace. Exactly.
Yeah.
On my journey, I was suffering so much. Like, I suffered so much. I was in so much chronic pain. And part of my problem was I didn't have compassion for myself. I expected myself to feel better. I expected myself to work just as hard as everybody else. And I still do. When I'm in pain, I'm like just grinding through it. And so this is a less, like, all these things I'm telling you are things that I'm constantly evolving into and learning as well. And it's just like having that compassion for myself and realizing my own suffering actually allows me to open my eyes to the suffering that's also around me.
Yeah.
And that was something that was huge for me, especially when it comes to the animal welfare side of being plant-based, is when I realized how much suffering I was really in, I realized how much my suffering and the food that I was eating that contributed to that suffering was also contributing to other suffering as well. And that compassion just kind of like exploded into this like awakening of seeing the world from a completely different light. And I think a lot of the reasons why we don't see, you know, animals as sentient beings, or we don't feel for the environment, or we get too busy in our day-to-day lives to kind of like really understand is because we don't start with that grace for ourselves, that compassion for ourselves, and that true understanding of what we're actually really going through. I think so often we're expected to push through, and sometimes it's okay if you don't. It's okay to take a step back. So
sometimes
yeah.
it's better to go 2 steps back and then 3 steps forward.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. And then I think the final thing of that is just like your baseline of ethics. So I highly recommend, if you guys are interested in this lifestyle, to over the next week to watch a documentary. It could be any of them. Like the newest one is, I think it's Seaspiracy.
Or Game Changers.
Game Changers. There's so many different like plant-based documentaries out there. I can send them in the email.
What the hell?
But it'll give you a baseline of ethics. And that baseline of ethics is going to be really helpful when you're going out to eat or when you're doing all these things, because you have this baseline that's based in compassion, and then you can really kind of like move through that. So for this question, for your journal, I really want you guys to write like a little love note to yourselves. Just like, girl, or like, you're doing great right now. Like Chris kissed
Or guy
the ground.
too, you know?
Or guy, yeah.
You know?
Just like, you're doing great today, like you kicked ass at work today, or like, you know I've been hard on you, but I promise it's gonna get better. Just write a little love note to yourself. Sometimes I do this when I'm feeling extra hard on myself. I'll write a little love note to myself, I'll read it out loud, and I'll just be like, okay, like, yeah, I'm not my worst enemy, you know? I think like writing, or if you're busy, you can just like think something really positive about yourself. I think we say a lot of things that we love about other people, but I think you have to be your own best friend, you know? Like, for instance, like when my mom talks bad about herself, I'm like, don't talk about my mom like that, you know? And so we want to think about that on the same thing. So just take a few seconds to write a little love note to yourself. A little love letter. Yeah. And if you like this exercise, I think it's really good to wake up and do it. And then you can read like 30 days in a row, like little love letters to yourself. Let's
we believe so much in just journaling your
just
feelings,
getting it out.
your food.
Sometimes
your
I voice memo, like I'll voice memo things to myself. I have the craziest voice memos on my phone. I'm like scared to go back and listen to them, but it's just getting it out, because a lot of times we let all this stuff sink in. We live with people, or we're afraid to speak our minds, and sometimes you just have to get it out in whatever way that makes sense. And if you guys are wondering, people are leaving really good documentaries in the comments right now. Okay. So number 4 is the abundance mindset. So this goes against everything you've ever been taught about lifestyle, diet, food. And it's to stop counting calories. Just like stop forever. Never count calories again. But we can start with just a week or 2. But not counting calories is going to actually help you kind of like expand your mind into what you actually want to be eating until you're full, getting really satiated, satisfied.
Eating whole food, plant-based.
Eating whole food, plant-based.
And not like junk food, like vegans.
Yeah, that's the next one. Yeah. Wait, what are we at? The abundance mindset. So yeah, stop counting calories. How many of you guys here, you can like pop in the chat or say something, but how many of you guys have tried a fad diet? Like, raise your hands. Me, I've tried a fad diet. I've done enough juice cleanses for like all of San Diego combined, I swear to God. Yes, me, fad dieting. Oh yeah, fad diets. Like, we've all tried the fad diets. And how do the fad diets make you feel? Like, maybe good for a quick second, but like at the end of the day, you come right back to where you started. If not right back to where you started, like totally confused. Every time I fad dieted or I juice cleansed, I always felt so confused afterwards. Makes me hate being on a diet. Yeah, exactly.
I think even that word diet is what is so different from what we talk about here, is that it's like a lifestyle. It's not like, oh, I'm trying out this vegan diet. It's like you're literally trying out like a vegan lifestyle of living in compassion, living in just healing through the inside out, you know?
Exactly. And like dropping that diet mentality, because a lot of diet mentality is how you look. Like what your size is, whether you want to gain weight or lose weight, what your skin looks like, how your clothes fit, and really like what this is about is how you feel. So if you can start focusing less on how you look and more on how you feel, you'll actually start to see things drastically not only change in that, again, going back to that compassion of how you view yourself, but also like you will start to lose weight or you will start to gain weight. Because what I find with all the clients, with everyone that we've worked with, whether you're trying to lose or gain weight, most of the time, if you're following whole food, plant-based, you're eating till you're full, you're getting healthy fats, all those things, you're gonna get to your goal. Like it's really going to happen when you're not so focused on what you cannot have. Yep. So that's the next thing, is to just like, instead of thinking like, I can't eat this, start thinking of what you can eat. Like
thousands of plants.
Like what you're saying, that I can have like as many avocados a day as I want. Like, yeah, like go for it. You know, you can eat so many things. There's so much abundance. There's like what, 30,000 plus edible plants. Yes. So even if you had a food out, if you're allergic to nuts, you can still eat plant-based. There are so many available plants, and eating in this lifestyle, for me, I'll just tell you guys that it made me a much better chef, because when I was cooking with meat and dairy, and I felt like I was trying to fit into the boys club. I felt like I was trying to be like everybody else. I felt like I was trying to just like catch up. I was in this game of catch up, and especially as a woman in the chef industry, I never felt like I really belonged. And so when I finally went into plant-based, there were so many more things to cook with. There were so many more options, so many more, you know, I wasn't so focused on this singular piece of animal protein for most of the calories in this meal. I was really able to kind of like think with abundance and be like, how can I completely change the way that we think about meals? And I think that's why,
like per plate even, you know?
I think that's why that like mac and cheese video went viral on TikTok, because it's just like, there's just like a bunch of veggies, but it's so good. I've had people leave reviews on Amazon saying it's the best mac and cheese they've ever had in their lives. And I'm just like, it's honestly so awesome. So, what was I saying? I like totally forgot. Yeah.
Just weight loss and weight gain.
Yeah.
Eating plant-based.
So yeah, you guys. So with that said, with abundance mindset, we all have things that we maybe don't like, or things that we're afraid to try, especially when it comes to foods or cooking, like something we're afraid to try cooking. So write down 5 things that you are going to try this week, like new things. 5 new things that you're gonna try. So maybe that could be making your own nut milk from scratch for the first time.
Yeah.
Or maybe that could be like
trying out fennel or
like eating mushrooms and like trying a new mushroom recipe. If you don't like mushrooms, like I really hate bananas, so I'm trying to like get bananas into recipes sometimes. You made our cashew hemp milk so good.
Yes.
In the cookbook, you guys, it's so bomb. It's such a good staple to have. The essentials chapter is perfect for the essentials, like having your fridge stocked.
So 5 things that...
Right, 5 things that you're going to try this week.
Yeah.
Soak your beans.
Yes.
That's a good one.
It's a very good one.
Soaking your beans instead of using canned beans is a really great way to get more out of your beans Sorry, excuse
with
me.
like a quarter of the sodium.
Exactly. I'm excited to try your mung bean eggs. Yes, we are actually cooking with our mung bean eggs in our cooking class in
2 weeks?
2 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
So if you guys want a step-by-step, definitely do that. Recommendations for nut milk bags. Honestly, I just recommend you make our no squeeze recipe that doesn't require a nut milk bag.
Yes.
That's really the real recommendation.
Because we don't like to...
But honestly, if you're going to use a nut milk bag, use natural fibers. So you don't want to use like anything that's made of plastic or silicone because microplastics will get into your nut milk and they don't last as long. So you want to have as many natural fibers as possible so that, you know, like if it's made out of hemp or whatever. Making your own hummus, trying tempeh. Yes, I love this, you guys. The cashew hemp is awesome. Swapped cashews for oats.
Honestly, hummus was like one of the first things when I went plant-based. I became like the hummus king. And I was just like, why buy all this hummus, store-bought hummus, when I can make it my own? And
it was actually absurd, you guys.
I was making every kind of hummus you could ever think of. And it felt, it was great to get out of my comfort zone and see where... where I go and where
we're gonna make our own pesto and spiced cauliflower snack. Yeah, that sounds so great. Okay, I love these. Keep these going. Just 5 things. Whether it's just something so simple like I'm gonna start drinking 32 ounces of water the first thing that I do when I wake up in the morning. Like for a lot of people, that's a big thing and that's a huge contributor to our health. And a lot of time people just go straight for coffee instead of going for a huge drink of water. So that can be something new that you do. Or drinking tea instead of wine before bed. Like there's so many like tiny little tweaks that we can make in our diet and our lifestyle that will make such a difference in how we be, you know, make energy balls. I love that. Okay, number 5, you guys, we had to talk about protein though, right?
And fiber.
Yes. So we had to talk about protein because everyone's going to ask you where you're going to get your protein from. Everyone's always asking us where we get your protein from. It's interesting how, you know, suddenly you go plant-based and everyone's concerned about where you're going to get your protein from, which is so
I always ask them, where do you get your fiber from?
So fun fact, 97% of Americans are chronically deficient in fiber. Did you guys know that? And where do we get our fiber from? Fresh fruits and vegetables.
Leafy greens,
whole wheat bread, like whole foods. That's the first question always. Yes, protein. So we really want to focus on fiber first because if we're focusing on our fiber first and we're also focusing on plant diversity, which is another one that we're going to get into, we're gonna get enough protein. Like broccoli has an insane amount of protein in it, also has an insane amount of fiber. Lentils, tons of protein, tons of fiber. Same thing. And when you're getting protein and fiber at the exact same time, because there's no fiber in animal products, you're also getting vitamins and minerals, especially minerals that people are chronically deficient in.
Like iron.
Like iron, right? So we really want to think about that because when you're getting fiber with these nutrients, the fiber is like a vessel. So all of these things are attached to the fiber. It's a vessel that goes into our body and then our body knows exactly what to do with this. When we're processing meat, it can take up to a week for your body to process the thing that's in meat to kind of have it come out of your body.
7 days.
7 days, which is why a lot of times we're chronically constipated because our bodies, oh my gosh, there's thunder in San Diego. That like never happens. But a lot of times, you know, our bodies are just like waiting and waiting and waiting to process. And so if you find yourself going to the bathroom a lot more on a plant-based diet,
that's a good thing.
Because of all the fiber.
That's like the best thing.
It's a good thing.
Yes.
You know, we want to poop more, you guys. We're chronically constipated as a society. And like, honestly, it's good to go 2 to 3 times per day.
Yes.
Per day. Can you believe that? I know the first thing that our clients say to us is, I can't believe how much I'm pooping. This is out of control.
Like I've been plant-based for like a week.
I'm running out of my meetings, like in an emergency, like I've got to go. But it's a good thing. That means that our systems are working. Like it's all happening. It's all flowing. That's exactly what we're looking for. So don't be afraid. So our recommended daily amount of protein. Can you guys guess what percentage of calories our recommended daily amount of protein is supposed to be?
I know, like I've had like my coworker. She once said like
she said 75.
She said like 50 to 75%.
But wait, don't just let's ask them. 20%. Okay, let's see what you guys got. Let's give me a guess. There's no
wrong
answer. Just take a guess, and no googling. Although Google's not always right. Google is not God. That should be a bumper sticker. Anyone? We only got 30%.
30%.
Okay. I've always heard 30 to 40%. Yeah. Okay. 25%. 50%. Okay. All right. Are you guys ready for the answer? It's going to blow your mind. 8 to 10% is protein.
It's a recommended daily allowance of 8 to 10% of your daily calorie intake.
And if you're an athlete, it's around like 14 to 16%. Yeah. And that's if you're like an athlete, like working out all the time. Yes, what? 8 to 10%? Yeah, so when we both took our plant-based nutrition course, we were learning from some of like the industry leading experts, and we were shocked too. We were like, what? 8 to 10%? That's everything against what we've ever been told. Here's the really interesting thing about protein is that you never hear of anyone having a protein deficiency in this country, like really ever. Everyone has told me to eat a ton of protein on vegan diet. Exactly, well, yeah, because we're living in this protein world. Think about all the advertisements that we're getting for protein. A lot of that is selling all of this meat that they're farming. A lot of that is that. And it's marketing, you guys. Yeah. It's marketing. Protein muscle.
Drink milk.
Yay! You know, it's all that. So yeah, awesome. Works for me. The other staggering thing. So we look at our leading causes of death, right? Oh, what just happened? Okay, we look at our leading causes of death. We look at heart disease, hypertension. We look at cancer. We look at
liver cancer,
lower respiratory disease. These are all from too much animal protein, A, and B...
cholesterol.
And cholesterol, right, which comes from animal protein. But also, did you guys know that too much protein in your diet, especially animal protein, is the leading cause of kidney and liver disease? Did you guys know that?
Yeah.
It's mind-blowing.
And people are getting diagnosed with cancer in their liver from... like too much protein all the time, but you never hear about it.
And it's something that you never hear about because of how many people are lobbying our governments, how much is going on for the meat and dairy industry. I mean, it is a crazy industry. You know, it's hard to publicly even go against them. But it's crazy because reading the China study is actually a really good book if you guys want a hefty read, the China study.
Yeah. It was all written from Dr. T. Colin Campbell, and he did a study of rural areas in China. You should definitely read the book. It's amazing. Mm-hmm. And they found that people in rural areas that were like separated from kind of Western civilization. Yeah. You want me to finish? Yeah. Basically, what they did is they thought that they needed to give these kids more protein. So they did it on kids. So they were like, okay, well, these kids they're not eating that much meat. They're eating like rice and grains and all this stuff. Potatoes. So what they did is they were trying to fulfill a need by bringing them protein and give them more and more protein, right? Yeah. So like animal protein. And what they found is that the liver disease and liver cancer in these kids like skyrocketed. And then they started looking at other areas where it's like high in animal protein, and they found that they were also high in liver and kidney disease. So it's really interesting. People are really concerned about how you're getting your protein, but what I see is so many people getting too much protein, and that is really concerning as well. Of course you need protein. Like, totally, you need it. I really need to focus on my protein because I just like to eat like lots of fruit and stuff. So for me, that's something that I'm super conscious about, is making sure that I'm getting lentils or beans every single day. Or if I'm not, I'll like throw a scoop of like, hemp seed powder in my smoothies or something. But I want you guys to think less of protein and more about, fiber,
diversity, plant diversity. Yeah. And that's going to be our next one, is plant diversity.
Number 6.
Plant diversity. So a colleague and a friend of mine, Dr. Will Bushwicks, he's also known as the Gut Health MD. He talks so much about plant diversity. He has this amazing, nut butter is excellent for protein. I put like a huge scoop of almond butter in my smoothies.
Or peanut butter.
or peanut butter, whatever, nut butter, yeah, or sunflower butter. Sunflower seeds have lots of protein too. But his book, Fiber Fueled, is amazing. I highly recommend getting Fiber Fueled if you guys want to learn all about gut health. He's like a freaking genius. But he talks a lot about plant diversity, and he's right on the money, because when we're getting plant diversity, when we are eating every single color of the rainbow every single day, whether we're thinking about protein or fiber or vitamin C or iron or whatever we're thinking about, if we're getting love Dr. B. Yes, love Dr. B. If we are getting every single, color of the rainbow every single day, it's literally like taking a multivitamin. It is taking a multivitamin in food form. And, it's really interesting when you think about the supplement industry, how they've fed us lies that you cannot get these nutrients that we need from our diet. And it's actually not true. And a lot of that comes from fear of fruit. There's so many nutrients and vitamins and minerals in fruit that we absolutely need. So any diet like the keto diet or anything that's telling you not to eat fruit is just it's just not good for you.
Fruit
you need all those things.
Fruit is good for you, and fruit will not make you fat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can make a rainbow smoothie, but it's about getting all of those plants in and looking at absorption of nutrients. So a really good example of this is anytime that you eat a plant-based protein, most of the time there's going to be iron in there. So there's huge amounts of iron in lentils, for example. You're going to want to pair that with vitamin C. And it's a really easy Google search if you're like, oh, I'm kind of deficient in iron or B vitamins or whatever it is. Like, how can I boost my absorption rate? So for iron, you really want to take vitamin C. So that just means that you squirt a little lemon on your lentils and you'll absorb more of the iron than you would if you didn't have vitamin C on there, which is actually such great knowledge to know. So, and getting your blood test results done is every year can kind of help you see if you're not eating enough iron, if you're not eating enough fruit, if you're not kind of getting those things, then you're not just kind of shooting in the dark and kind of guessing. So yeah, let's see. What do we have? Plant diversity. Okay, yeah. And then the other thing too is if you live in a more rural area, or if you're at the grocery store and you're not seeing enough diversity in your grocery store, it's important to speak up. Ask for the produce manager or whoever's doing the ordering and ask them to order what you need. They order based on demographics and ethnicities and all these different things. They have this
and demand.
They have all these, or what they think the demand is based on what they're supplying. But they have a system. They have an entire calculated system of how they order groceries. So you, as a consumer, have so much power if you just use your voice. You ask to speak to the hiring manager. If you can't, then send them a quick email or ask when they're working, come back and be like, hey, I'm part of this community. I've noticed that your organic section is really lacking and I would really love more organic foods. Or hey, I noticed that you have no nut butters, or your bulk section sucks, or whatever it is, whatever your grocery store, because there are so many grocery stores that, we just went on a road trip all around the US and so many grocery stores at chain places were just lacking because they think that people don't want these things. That's all it is. It's a business. So you have to remember that you have so much power in your consumerism and really speaking up and asking them, because they're also guessing. They're going off some sort of algorithm and guessing what people want. And so if you can come to them and be like, bro, this is what I want. I need you to order this for me. Then you're going to see that in a week on your grocery store shelves, and no longer are you going to be super frustrated with your store. And that can give you a lot of confidence too, as a consumer, and power, and knowing that.
And if there isn't organic stuff, we always say still buy conventional. Yeah. As conventional fruit is better than no fruit.
Exactly. The key is just if it has a skin, it's okay to buy non-organic. If you can't find it, if I can't find organic pineapples, avocado. Just buy conventional. But if you can, you have the availability, you have the financial availability, I always say buy organic whenever possible, even if it's bananas. I
know people always say why.
Someone actually ripped me apart at the grocery store last year for buying an organic banana, and I'll never forget this abrasive man, because I was like, what is going on here? But the reason why we buy organic, even if, there's two reasons. Even if it has a thick skin on it. So a banana is the most perfect example. There's two things. GMO is a real thing. So genetically modified crops are a real thing. They genetically modify them. They have less nutrients They can withstand more pesticides. They start
And that's the
spraying.
biggest thing. They can withstand larger amounts of pesticides, so they
Right.
spray them with more pesticides because they know they can handle them. Whereas
Exactly.
organic crops, you spray them with a lot of pesticides,
Right.
they're just going to die.
Exactly. Well, not necessarily.
Not necessarily,
No,
but-
but it's cheaper to have GMO and then be able to spray them just because you can have bigger crops and all this stuff. So there's that. There's also the environment. So glyphosate is being found in everything. They actually, fun fact, they found glyphosate, which is the #1 sprayed pesticide. They found glyphosate in the blood of a polar bear. In, where was it? Like
Yeah,
the
like-
Arctic? In a polar bear. So that just goes to show that glyphosate is just, it's going in the sky, it's going everywhere. So the more that you can support organic farms, I know everyone can't, but the more that you can, the less demand that there is for these conventional crops. So, yeah, so this journal entry is a little bit fun. So I'd love for you guys to name your favorite food
Your whole food of every color.
of every color of the rainbow.
So like red bell pepper. Green, avocados.
I'm strawberry. Red.
Yeah.
Orange. Other than an orange.
Ooh.
Maybe turmeric for me.
Yeah, turmeric is up there.
Turmeric is
We
good.
love-
You love habanero peppers.
And habanero.
Carrots! Oh my god, duh!
Carrots.
Okay, red, orange, yellow, I mean, bell peppers, obviously. I'm like being so basic in my choices right now. I thought I would be. Yellow carrots are bomb too. Bananas. Yeah, I have this
Yeah,
weird
she doesn't
aversion
like
against
bananas.
bananas. It's like my one thing. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Brown,
Green.
cinnamon.
Green, okay, we're talking about greens. If you eat 4 to 6 servings of leafy greens per day,
And a serving is a
Size of your
fistful,
fist.
size of a fist after it's been sauteed for
Ideally,
even
okay.
5 to 6
this
minutes.
is ideal, or in a smoothie or something. But if you eat 4 to 6 servings of leafy greens per day, you lower your risk of heart disease, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, and obesity by like 80%, you guys. 4 to 6 servings of leafy greens per day. So
Which
that
is a
means-
lot.
that
It's like you
means-
wake up, you have some leafy greens. For lunch, you have some leafy greens. You know, for a snack, you have some sauteed veggies.
Wait. If you're making a tofu scramble, you just throw a huge handful of spinach in there, or you throw kale in your smoothie, or you have a Buddha bowl that's like half spring mix, half quinoa. Like, you can make it happen, I
Yeah.
promise. You have a sog that has like, oh my god, the chana sog in my cookbook, you guys, is one of the
It's like a
most
spinach
amazing
curry.
recipes
It's
ever.
amazing. It's my favorite.
But yeah, 4 to 6 leafy green servings a day can massively, and if you have high risks of heart disease, obesity, and diabetes in your family,
Leafy greens are your friend.
Leafy greens, like anytime you can, anytime you see an opportunity to get leafy greens, it's really important to do so, and to kind of, kiwi, yeah. Steve loves a good kiwi.
Ooh, yeah.
And what is the kiwi? It's like 100% of your daily vitamin A
Yeah, one kiwi has
kiwi.
110% of your daily vitamin C
per day.
per day.
Kiwi ad. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys. Awesome. So there's only 2 more. Thank you guys for sitting with us. We're almost done. The 6th one is to eat whole foods. So a big thing that I see and hear is people going on a plant-based lifestyle or they're like, I had my friend Sally and she was vegan for 3 years and she was the most unhealthy person I've ever met. Or you could be like, I tried vegan and I was super unhealthy and I didn't feel good and I gained weight and I don't know what went wrong. And a lot of that has to do with processed vegan food. Because as much as I love the fake cheeses and Beyond Meat and all these...
Props to them for doing it, for helping people kind of transfer from these meat-heavy diets.
From these meat-heavy diets is to eat processed food, which is like, it's honestly a great thing. If you're barbecuing with your friends or you're late on time or like, something happens, it's like good to kind of like have these availabilities.
Yeah.
But the key here is to, especially during this challenge, is to not eat processed food. Like, I challenge you to not eat processed food at all, because the problem with processed food is, ultra high processed oils, there's gums, even in like the store-bought plant milks that you buy at the store. If you read the ingredients, if you can't pronounce
There could
them,
be like 20 ingredients.
yeah, it's not necessarily good for you. Corn chips, look at the ingredients. If it's got like a bunch of canola oil and things you can't pronounce, they're not just corn chips. They're a highly processed food.
Yeah.
If it's like corn, olive oil, salts, then like, yeah, sure, go for it. Not
Yeah.
necessarily like fully processed. Someone said, my only concern is that by being vegan, I will not eat hot foods. Ooh, this is a good misconception. I like that you brought this up. That much, and that's something my acupuncturist recommended to improve my circulation. Yes. So there's a big common thought that being vegan means being raw.
And just salads.
And salads. Like, you become a salad and a smoothie, basically. But that's not the case. I actually prefer cooked foods. So for me, like, I had soup for breakfast this morning. So, like,
lentil soup?
I had lentil soup for breakfast. For me, it's really important that you do with what works.
I had veggie tacos for lunch.
Yeah, you do with what works for you.
Yep.
I love cooked food. I tried to do a raw vegan diet. It didn't work for me because I just felt ungrounded. Like, I really love to be grounded. And it even is something like when you make a smoothie in the morning, you can steam zucchini or steam cauliflower to put inside of your smoothie. And then you can like kind of incorporate that cooked food aspect to it as well. Actually, in our cookbook, there's like no raw recipes. There's maybe a couple of them, but most of the cookbook is all cooked food because I highly believe in the fact that just because you're vegan does not mean you're raw, and you can eat the things that you want to eat.
There's a deep dish pizza in there.
Oh,
there's
so good. Yeah.
Bunch of curries. There's a bunch of especially like noodle stuff or like rice, fried rice, things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Oh yeah, someone mentioned frozen veggies and fruits. Thank you guys so much for reminding me. And then we'll have a minute for Q&A and a couple minutes too for more questions. So this is the way it goes. It goes fresh fruit and then frozen and then canned. So, and then processed underneath. So, and like having a pre-made wrap at your deli doesn't necessarily count as processed, but you know, frozen fruit foods are good. I think that if you don't have availability for fresh food where you live, frozen is like the next best thing because they're usually flash frozen, mainly for time, space, like all these things. That's why they're flash frozen. But because they're flash frozen, they actually retain a lot of the nutrients. So anytime I'm gonna make like a cold pressed juice or something and I like want it to last, I'll pop it in the freezer and it will maintain like a lot more nutrients than it would be if I just like left it in the fridge. So yeah, frozen is awesome. I buy frozen berries, frozen fruit for our smoothies. We have frozen green beans at all times in our freezer, mainly for our dog, but like we love them in stir fries and stuff. But yeah, frozen veggies and fruits work well because sometimes my fruits and veggies go bad fast. Exactly. And something that can really help is going back to that organization piece is really planning out your meals and really being like, okay, what am I going to eat this week realistically? Am I realistically going to make 5 dinners, or am I going to make one huge dinner and eat it for 3 days, or am I going to go out to eat with my friends on Thursday, or whatever's going to happen, or you're going to cook with us on Thursdays in our membership, but like, you know, whatever's going to happen, you have to be realistic with yourself so you stop buying food that goes bad. I mean, Americans waste like 60% of all food that is grown, and a lot of that just is lack of planning. Yeah. Okay, cool. So I think we're on the final one.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, for this journal, I want you guys to write how many whole foods you eat per day right now. So whether that's like an apple, some spinach, like in my lentil soup today, there was probably like 5 or 6 whole foods. So write down how many whole foods you eat per day right now. If it's 1, that's okay. That's a good place to start from. If it's 0,
you gotta start somewhere.
That's okay. It's a good place to start from. If you have a banana in the morning, that counts. Okay, we've got 1, 20 to 25.
See, like that. You 1, 20,
that's
25.
That's a good place to start.
Yes.
Do carrots count per carrot? No, it'd be like the carrots would be like the 1 per carrot. That would mean Coco probably eats like 100. Our dog loves carrots. So yeah, if you're eating just 1 whole food per day, try to expand that to 5 or 6 this week.
Like even I make like little yogurt fruit bowls in the morning with coconut yogurt, and I had pomegranates, apple, strawberry, and that's
blueberries. Just expanding what you would normally. So if you would only normally have strawberry, be like, okay, what's in season? What can I expand on? What can I try that's
pomegranates are in season.
Pomegranates are popping off right now, you guys. Does juicing count? Yeah, we cold press juice. That definitely counts. You're getting all those amazing micronutrients.
Celery, carrots, apples,
cucumber. So think about all of those. Write them down, and then write down what your goal would be. And if you're eating, you know, 1 to 2 whole foods or 4 to 5 and you're not feeling great, I honestly think that if you just incorporate more whole foods into your diet, you're gonna feel like so much better. Like your entire energy, like you are going to revive as a human. You'll be able to just like kind of reawaken. Yeah, and that's like all I teach is how to eat more whole foods. So I'm glad you guys are here. Okay, you guys, our final one, which kind of leads perfectly into this, is to get cooking.
Yeah.
So the thing that differentiated my healing from most people that I know, most people that I know in the endo community, everything that's going on, is the fact that I am a professional chef. And I was able to take my knowledge from, you know, being classically trained to being like, okay, how am I going to transition this into being plant-based? And it really helped because I was able to constructively look at food, not take it personally, and be like, how can I use this as a tool to make me feel the best, like my best self? It can really differentiate your healing from others. So I'd love to like, let me know in the chat, do you guys like to cook? Do you like to cook? And if you do like to cook, do you cook? That's a better question.
It's true.
And like
that's how me and her first met because I used to love to cook.
Loves
and
to cook.
I didn't know how to cook.
Yes.
If that makes sense. Like I love to cook, but I didn't know how to. And then Bailey kind of helped me
he
give
did
direction
not know
on
what
that.
was going on.
No, I would
Love
really
to
just
cook.
throw things into a pot and maybe make soup or stir fry. I used to make jokes. I was like Steve the stir fry because I'd literally just throw veggies into a
Love
plate
to
full of
cook, but
noodles
get
and-
frustrated in my small kitchen. It's relaxing. Enjoy cooking. I cook. Not the best all the time. That's okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Haven't had a lot of time lately for long recipes, recipe testing, and the
I love
recipe
to cook.
tastes bad. Oh my god, that's a whole thing. Love to cook. Okay, wait. So we're in a group of people who love to cook. Hi, y'all. What's up? Let's see. Okay, perfect. We definitely need a recipe. We love to cook. We get frustrated. It all happens. So I'm glad you guys at least love to cook because that's like half the battle. If you didn't respond and you don't like to cook, it's like flexing a new muscle. It's like trying something new. Yeah, exactly. And it's the other aspect of like thinking of your meals as like 80%, it's like the 80-20 rule. 80% homemade, 20% out. So sometimes I'll get stuck in ruts of like eating out all the time and I won't feel super great. And it's really important to like be like, okay, how many homemade meals can I make?
Yeah.
And I'm also saying like from the deli or from like Postmates, if it gets delivered to your home, it's still not considered homemade. I know a lot of people have like a different like level of what they think homemade to be. But yeah, try to get 80% of your meals homemade. Do you guys think that that is something that seems like so out of reach to do 80% homemade meals? You can let me know in the comments or not. That's fine too. Yeah?
Yeah, and I always say like, we were saying this is prepping yourself and planning and that you don't have to have like everything all set up, but like in the beginning of the week, we might make some hummus. We might make some
Cashew milk.
Or some like hemp.
Yeah.
Or like some cashew cheese that come later. If we have like Alfredo made that come later in the week, like instead of me having to make Alfredo and noodles and saute veggies, it's like all I have to do is cook noodles, cook some veggies, and the sauce is already made. So it's
It's already cooked 85 to 90%. Oh my god, look at you guys go. Love your recipe for the cashew cheese. Yes, meal plan always helps me figure out how when to cook.
Yeah.
A fair amount of my cooking is using store-bought jars, mostly pasta sauce. Okay, you guys, there are 2 recipes in the cookbook. The Alfredo sauce is insanely easy. You just steam and blend, and it tastes just like store-bought Alfredo. And it makes 2 jars worth, so you can make it and then freeze one, and then you have it. And then the other one is a 30-minute marinara. I wish I had the book on me right now.
Actually, last night we were in a pinch. I did not want to make food. Did not want to make food. And Bailey was like, well, like, I really don't want to go out. And so I literally took 5 tomatoes, an onion, and some garlic and a jalapeno, and I threw it onto a baking pan, cooked it for like 30 minutes, totally forgot about it.
Blended it.
Pull it out, you blend it up, put some hemp milk in it and some basil, and I literally made like a tomato sauce in like 30 minutes.
Exactly.
And it just goes to show that like you can make anything and you can make it work. But I kind of goes into this is that just educating yourself and looking up recipes, but like, okay, like I have a couple tomatoes and I have this, like, what can I do with this? And I know having her being in a relationship with a professional chef definitely helps. But if I didn't, if I was on my own, if I had those
That's
things...
why we wrote the cookbook, you guys. Honestly, it is so frustrating going to Pinterest and making a recipe that sucks because it is so real. I mean, raise your hand if you've gone to Pinterest and made a terrible recipe. Me, I've done it. It's the worst thing ever. You bought all these ingredients. You're like, oh, this seems so creative and interesting, and it's the worst. I've been there. I've done that, honestly. That's why I wrote the cookbook, because you spent 3 hours last night on vegan chicken. It ruined your pan. I can't. I'm sorry, that's like so timely that you're here right now. Yeah, we've all made bad recipes. So for me, it's like, I wanted to get these recipes out to you because I'm a professional trained chef. I know what I'm doing, and I want you guys to be able to know what you're doing too, so that you can say, look, I'm so proud of the meals that I'm making.
She said...
Someone asked about nutritional yeast. You can just omit it.
Yeah, you don't even need it.
I started using nutritional yeast at first. I use it sometimes now to get my B12 up. I have a struggle retaining B12, so I use it for that. But just omit it. Like, if you don't need it, just don't use it. Honestly, it tastes a little bit cheesy. Miso paste is a really good option for that, but honestly, just get rid of it. Garlic is a good substitute. Garlic can kind of make something a little bit more lively.
Yeah.
So you guys, this leads us into, we just relaunched our online membership. It has a lot of stuff like this. We have so much more information on protein, on fiber, on like anything that you can think of. We even have a class on like how to feed your dog if you want to like get your dog off kibble and start making them homemade food. So that's our membership, and we just relaunched it, which kind of inspired us to kind of start this 14-day challenge and have this masterclass.
And we cook every Thursday at 5:30.
Every Thursday at 5:30.
Every Thursday.
It's a 45-minute to an hour-long class. We're cooking from the book right now, but over the holidays we'll probably branch out. I know that
we made biscuits and gravy 2 weeks ago.
Co has taken our classes before.
We made like orange chicken, orange tofu, and wild rice stir fry.
And this week on Thursday we're making falafels and a homemade dairy-free tzatziki sauce, which can really help you eliminate your dairy addiction.
And we give you guys, if you join the membership, we send you a signed copy of the cookbook. So even if you're in Australia, we'll send you a signed copy of the cookbook. Yeah. And everything is recorded in our, I love that. Everything is recorded in our portal, so you can watch any of our past classes. We have about 40 up right now, and there's like so many different things. And they all have grocery lists attached to them, so you can like download the grocery list. Yes, exactly. Get all the ingredients, watch along to any of our past. All right, I'll give you guys the link right here, and then let's answer some questions. Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is a far reach. How often do we guys grocery shop? A lot. Oh my god, every day. We do like virtual cooking classes outside of our membership, and we do a lot of like recipe testing. Recipe development for brands. So we go to the store every day. It's excessive, but I will say when I lived in a city, I went to the store almost every day. I spent $20 or something, and I was able to just shop for that day unless I was getting smoothie stuff, which can be a really good intro if you kind of have that time on your way home or something. Let's see. Will it be possible to see the recording of this meeting? Yeah, we're going to send it in an email to you guys tomorrow. What's next in the challenge? Yeah, there's so many things next in the challenge. So every day I'm going to be sending you guys an email. So we're going to have a new focus every single day. I'm going to be sending you links. There's also 300 plus free recipes on my website. So I highly suggest that you guys check out my website, chefbai.kitchen, and then go to the recipes tab. I'm going to be sending you guys all sorts of things, and I'll also be posting videos and linking a bunch of stuff for you guys. So if you have a specific need or a specific question, let me know, and I will definitely tackle that in this challenge. But definitely utilize our blog. Like we have the recipes in the blog. So many recipes on there, and we have breakfast, lunches, dinners, snacks, desserts, like exactly. And we're always adding at least 4 or 5 or 6 a month. So there's a ton on there. There's a ton. So between that and the cookbook and just like social media and stuff. But we'll be sending you an email every single day. And do you guys have any questions for us? Whether it's regarding your own personal struggles, your own health goals, anything, the membership, anything. Yeah, let us know. and you can type in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and
let us know what's
see your beautiful face.
I've been plant-based this past week and super tired. Do you think me having enough fiber or protein? It could be a couple things. So something that I also want to talk about is B12. So B12 is a vital nutrient that we need that is really hard to find in a plant-based diet naturally. You can get it fortified into nutritional yeast.
You can get on mushrooms a little bit.
Yeah, but B12 is something that I take. It's a supplement that I take. I spray it in my mouth. I get the Whole Foods brand, the 365, and it is responsible for brain health and just overall energy and like nerve function in your brain. So you could just be having like a low amount of B12 than you're used to, or you could just be needing more calories.
Yes.
And you also have to remember too, if you're used to eating meat and dairy like the standard American diet, you're going to be going through a little bit of a detox period. So when you're detoxing certain hormones and certain things and you're getting used to an entirely new way of eating, you're gonna show certain symptoms. So it could be like headaches, or it could be night sweats. Like Steve, when he first went plant-based, got, oh my God, I can't even talk. He got the worst night sweats, like literally the worst night sweats ever.
It's like my body was just detoxing.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, you're gonna go through a period of transition, and that is okay. Let's see. So yeah, for that question, I would recommend B12, getting a B12 supplement. Personally, I think a spray, a liquid, is the best form. It's more absorbent. It goes straight into your saliva. It's the best way to do it. And eating more.
Yeah, because I feel like most people, like, even if you, for dinner, you know, most people, if they had like their burger with like some French fries and like, or even burger and a salad, like that's so much calories in almost each bite of that burger. Whereas if you eat like a salad and some like pasta kind of, like, you need to eat more.
Just more abundantly. And you're going to go through it quicker. So like we were talking about with the fiber, your body's really going to digest it faster. So you're going to be hungry again sooner. So you're just going to have to eat more than you think that you do.
We believe in snacking, like hummus, dips, like even I have like granola and just like cereal at like all times a day randomly.
And for him, he works out, and I'm a woman, so like I have all of these.
She eats probably like 1,800 calories a day.
Less. Probably like 14, to be honest.
And I'll eat like literally 25 to 3,000 a day.
Sometimes 4 if he's on the
Because I skateboard, I ride my bike, I'm active.
And a lot of this has to do too with like, especially, I mean, you know, with our cycles as women, like when we are on our periods, when we're in that cycle, you need to eat so much more food. You need to eat more fats, more nuts, more avocados. Whereas if, you know, you're ovulating or you're on the opposite side, you need to eat more raw foods, more fresh foods. There's actually this app that I've been using that I'll share with you guys. It's called MyFlow. Oh, let's see. And this is good for all the ladies. And actually for the guys too, because it will update you where your woman is on her menstrual cycle. But it's called MyFlow, and it will help you understand what to eat during which phase of your cycle so that you can best support yourself. So if you're feeling extra tired, it will be like, well, you didn't eat enough of this and this day. It's only like a $2 app, and it's actually really epic. Okay, so what's your opinion on bread? I love bread. Bread's like my favorite thing ever. My opinion on bread is eating whole grain bread. So avoiding refined grains, like refined wheats, any bleached flours. Yeah, so we want to get whole grain, whole wheat bread. Gluten is not the devil. I will repeat, gluten is not the devil. It is glyphosate and processed crops that are the devil, which is really, I don't even like to use that word, but really, it's just this highly processed stuff. So Wonder Bread, or you get those like those dinner rolls or whatever. So you just want to make sure you get like a multi-grain, a seeded bread that has lots of fiber. So the spelt recipe in the cookbook is actually incredible. I've been making it for years. I'm obsessed with it. And spelt is high in fiber, high in protein, high in so many things. So I love bread. Acne. Yeah, so if you're getting acne from going plant-based, it's detox. So your acne shows what was going on in your body 30 days, up to 30 days ago. So it can take 30 days to fully detox whatever you're eating through your skin. And that is a long time, of course, to wait, especially when you're dealing with acne. I used to deal with cystic acne and it was so frustrating. I would love to get more perspective.
And I had cystic acne on my legs.
Yeah.
And I used to think it was hereditary. My brothers had it. My dad had it. Everyone was like, you're going to have it for the rest of your life. And the minute, pretty much the first 2 months I went plant-based, I still had it. And then it was almost 6 months later.
It went away.
And now it's been pretty much like almost 3 years since I've had none on
acne.
my legs.
So yeah, just be patient. The biggest thing with acne is be patient. And the other thing too is like if you're on birth control, there's a lot of different factors. So if you want to reach out to me directly, we can kind of troubleshoot what's going on with that as well. My opinion on sugar, I don't think sugar is the worst thing. I think natural sugars are great. I think avoiding refined sugar is so important. So we're looking at like white sugar,
high fructose
table
corn syrup,
high fructose corn syrup. The other really important thing is to always try to get your sugar with fiber. So that's why I love fruit, because you're getting natural sugars, natural energy, and you're also getting that fiber. So the sugar is attached to something, so it has somewhere to go. Yeah. That's why drinking sugary juices and soda and all that stuff is really bad for us, because it's not attached to anything. It's not attached to any fiber, and it's not doing anything positive for us. So for me, I love coconut sugar. You guys will see coconut sugar throughout the entire cookbook. It's healthy, it's eco-friendly, it's from like the palm of the coconut,
it's
like
low on
the
the
flour.
Glycemic index.
Low on the glycemic index, exactly. So try to get non-refined sugars. Every single one of my recipes has non-refined sugar in it, so you'll be good. Co said night farts. I mean, yeah, you're gonna be farting more, that's for sure. It's just digestion in a nutshell.
Any tips for...
There was a thunderstorm. The thunderstorm is projecting on my refrigerator. I know, there's lightning in San Diego. It literally never happens. Any tips to offset the gas beans, Brussels sprouts, green peppers? Yeah.
It's like a muscle. We always say this. It's like a muscle. Go slow. You wouldn't go to a gym if you never worked out and started lifting 300 pounds.
Yeah, so that's why you don't want to go from eating like mainly animal proteins to like an entire bowl of beans.
Yeah,
switch out exactly like protein for protein grams. What you'd want to do is switch up your proteins in that meal. So having like a little bit of beans, a little bit of brown rice, like a little bit of things, so that you're able to kind of get that diversity in your gut. It's honestly just, you're gonna need a little bit of just like time to kind of go through that and to kind of work out those muscles and not have as much. And if you find that you're having this like insane gut upset when you're eating like a huge amount of beans, it's literally just your body sending you a signal that you need to just eat a little bit less, and that's okay. My husband kept eating the same size salad from before and was never full. Yes, he had to change his mindset to eating more nutrient dense and lower in calorie foods. It took some time to get him used to eating a lot more food and no longer feeling hungry. So I'm gonna take this one. So Steve, for a really long time, was eating when I was eating. Yeah. And we were getting into like a lot of arguments because he was hungry all the time. Always hungry, this one. And, like all the arguments, it was... I
was trying to eat when she eats, we'll we sit down together, we eat together.
Yeah, every day, for every meal though. And I literally would just be like, dude, you're hungry, we're not fighting, you're actually just hungry, you need to eat more food. And the reality is that men and women are completely different. We eat at different times, we cycle at different times, everything is a little bit different. And so it's really important to remember that when you're cooking for your family or when you guys are trying to do it together, you have to eat portions, and different times. Like, it's okay to eat different times of the day, to eat different things during the day. As men, you have to eat more. Or if you're exercising all the time, or if you're super athletic, or if you're pregnant, there's all these different variables, but you just have to eat more. Not every single body is created equal. So that's really important as well. Okay, I'm gonna do a couple more of these, and then I'm gonna let you guys go.
Yeah, we just read that.
We just read that one. Let's see. What if your period is inconsistent? You're 17, so how would you judge what you eat more depending on your cycle? That's a really good question. I feel like since, you are 17, you have a little bit of time to fluctuate to get into your flow. But, your biggest marker of your health is your cycle, especially for women. Your menstrual cycle is your biggest marker for your health. And the key would to just be consistent in every other thing in your life. So consistently drink water, consistently get healthy fats. If you are doing the plant-based thing, just make sure you're consistently getting enough calories, and eventually your body will catch up. You may have like a hormone, something that's going on that you may want to see, you know, like a naturopathic doctor for, and talk to your mom about or something. But I think if you're seeking consistency from your body, you have to feed your body consistency as well in order to expect consistency back. I'm on a sourdough kick. Hell yeah, you are. Good for you. That's amazing. Agave, love agave.
Yep.
Yes, you can email me. I will write the email right here if you guys have personal questions. I do like one-on-one consulting too, so if you have like specific things you want to deal with, we can talk. Let's see. What if you don't get very hungry on a plant-based diet, but you're only eating one super large meal for lunch and a light almost snack-like meal dinner and no breakfast? I would say like smoothie in the morning. I take an hour to drink my smoothie in the morning because I am not hungry in the morning. I'm just not. And so I make a big smoothie. I keep it in a thermos so that it stays cold, and it takes me like literally all morning to drink it. But I drink it and I pack it with greens and protein and almond butter.
But even what you were saying, we were actually talking about this today, is that, you know, breakfast is, they always say breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but reality, what we've learned is that it's how you break your fast is the most important. So like, you've been sleeping 8-10 hours, you wake up, it's what you actually put in your body to be like the first thing is what's most important.
You're right.
And for us, it's like water. We just wake up, we drink like a
tea.
glass.
I like tea in the morning too. Yeah.
And then eventually, like, we'll usually juice, have a smoothie. We almost kind of inadvertently, we don't mean to.
Like,
we have like a fruit
if you're not hungry, eat an apple. Just kind of force yourself to get that down. Like, have just something with fiber,
apple with almond butter,
nutrients, and you're gonna get a little bit of energy from that. And a lot of times, that like lack of hunger in the morning could also be from drinking your caffeine too early. Like, if you drink caffeine before you eat anything, you're gonna completely curb your hunger for the next few hours, because that's what caffeine does to your body. So you're training your body to not want food in the morning, which is normal. I mean, that's like what we all kind of do. We're all kind of living on caffeine in the morning. So it's really important to be like, okay, first thing in the morning, 32 ounces of water, which will fill you up. So you're probably not gonna be hungry for like at least 20 minutes. And then just eat something, whether it be apple and almond butter, or granola and cashew milk, or lentil soup, or like vegetable broth, like whatever it is, just get a little bit of calories into your system. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna jumpstart your digestion, you're gonna jumpstart your metabolism, and you're gonna get rolling for the day to where you're not gonna feel like you need that massive lunch because you're so hungry in the middle of the day. Okay, let's see. You love eggs. How can you supplement my love for that? I love that. I used to love eggs too. I think just still eating the same things that used to have eggs on. So for me, I used to have eggs on avocado toast. I still would eat avocado toast without eggs. And then learning supplements. So like mung bean scrambles, tofu scrambles, and just kind of like thinking other than eggs, being like, or thinking the opposite, like, okay, what's the opposite of eggs that I could be eating right now, like a pancake or something like that. Just try to kind of like think outside the box and not think about eggs, and eventually your body will start to kind of adjust. And for me, I stopped eating eggs, and I did a little experiment on myself, and I went back and I ate an egg after like 6 months after not eating eggs, and I got the craziest stomach pains ever. And I realized that like my body didn't want it anyway, so I was totally fine with it. Yeah, definitely tofu scramble.
Yeah, honestly, I made a tofu scramble a couple days ago, and I love it. I couldn't imagine actually ever eating real eggs anymore. Yeah. Because we love like a little turmeric and a little black salt.
So that's a good place to put turmeric. I mean, we have a lot of meals with turmeric. Like any of our Indian dishes have turmeric in it.
Turmeric, black pepper, and a little black salt for sulfur. It kind of gives it that eggy taste.
Black salt. Black salt, thank you. Yeah, black salt on things. Like if you're making a fried rice with no eggs, add black salt, and it will give it that sulfury flavor that the eggs bring it.
Yeah.
So you guys, thank you so much for being here. You're super nervous about gaining weight. You might like gain a little, but then it'll come right off. I mean, just see what happens. You know, again, automatic negative thought. I'm automatically going to gain weight, which is an automatic negative thought. You have to just go and see and go from there and think positively about it, you know. And if you do gain weight, maybe it's because you're only eating bread all day or something like that. It's not necessarily just because of the plant-based. So thank you guys so much. This is all about thriving. We want you guys to thrive and succeed.